Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels collector video. Today I am going to be showcasing and reacting to the 2024 E-Case. This is yet again another fantastic mix of cars for 2024. There's tons of new castings here, there's tons of great new recolors, and overall it's just a really nice mix of cars. This case will be hitting your local stores in about a month or two's time, so keep your eyes open for this mix of cars. You definitely do not want to miss when these do drop. Now then, before we go any further, I must shout out Ministry of Diecast, as without his footage this video would not be possible, so I cannot thank him enough. Make sure to check out the original video, it will be linked in the pinned comment of this video and also in this video's description, so please do check that out if you haven't already. That video does actually include some additional footage as well, which I have chopped out of my video because I wanted to keep it as short as I possibly can, whilst also giving you all the content you could ask for. But anyways, let's jump straight into this reaction then. So the first car we have here is the 67 Camaro. Now then, this is not brand new for this case, it's just returning from the previous case. We've already seen this car, and honestly it's not really for me, it's just not really to my taste, so I won't be picking this car up for my collection. However, this next car is really to my taste, it's super cool, brand new for this case, it's also a brand new casting for 2024. This is the Cadillac Project GTP hypercar. This thing is rolling on the 10-spoke Y design wheels, which have been painted in chrome gold on this car. The entire car has been painted in matte black, and this thing does receive side and top tampo work. What a great way to debut that casting. It looks awesome in my opinion. Next up we have the Silverado EV RST. This is also brand new for this case, it's also a brand new casting for 2024. This car is rolling on the 5-spoke Y design wheels, which have been painted in chrome on that car. It does have front and rear tampo work and has been painted in this beautiful looking, what appears to be slightly metallic blue colour. Looks really good. Again, what a great way to debut that casting. Next up we do have the 73 Honda Civic Custom. This is returning from the previous case, so nothing new there. It is really quite nice looking, but we've already seen it. This is also from the previous case, the Mazda RX-7. Again, it's pretty cool. I probably won't be picking this thing up for my collection, it's just not really something that I would purchase. It still looks pretty cool, and I do think there will be quite a decent amount of hype around that thing, but again, it's nothing new. Next up we do have the Baja truck. This is brand new for this case, but it is a fantasy car. This car is rolling on the beadlock off-road wheels, which have been painted in chrome red. It does receive side and top tampo work, and has been painted in this very nice blue colour. It's very similar to the Silverado EV RST, I believe that colour, so it might even be metallic. It's really hard to tell off of this video, but yeah, it is a very nice colour nonetheless. Next up we do have the Aston Martin 1963 DB. This thing is rolling on the lace wheels, which have been painted in chrome. The entire car has been painted in silver, which is metallic, and it does receive front and rear tampo work. That is the exact same look which we saw on that exact same casting in the 2023 Fast and Furious 5-pack, so yeah, it is just a reissue I suppose. The GT Scorcher is a fantasy casting, nothing new for this case. It's kinda cool looking, but it's not for me. This Pagani Zonda R is absolutely beautiful looking. Love the red on this thing, it is slightly metallic. It is not new for this case though, it is returning from the previous, but I definitely will be picking that thing up. I think it looks so stunning. This is a brand new casting for 2024 as well. This is the 23 Ram 1500. And again, this is just a really nice new casting, but it is returning from the previous case, so nothing new here. Although it's so good looking, I'll definitely be picking that thing up. This is brand new for this case, the 57 Chevy. Now this thing does have side and top tampo work. It's been painted in glossy black and is rolling on the 5-spoke wheels, which do have a nice white wall to them. They've also got a nice white lip to them, and the rest of the wheel has been done in black. That looks pretty funky. I'm honestly not a big fan of the tamper work on that thing, but everything else looks really cool. I love the wheel choice on that thing. They look so period correct and look fantastic. Next up, we do have the Street Wiener. This is a fantasy car returning from the previous case. I'm not interested at all. But this is a lot more interesting. This is brand new for this case. This casting was a brand new casting in 2023, near the end of 2023, and this is a great recolor of it. So this thing is rolling on the off-road beadlock wheels, which have been done completely in black. The car has been painted in glossy white, and this thing does receive side and rear tamper work. I think that is the best release of that casting to come out to date. It looks so good, and I definitely will be picking that thing up. Next up, we do have the Nissan Skyline GTR R33. This is returning from the previous case. However, it's a good thing to see it here. It gives you a second chance to find this thing because it will be a very desirable car. I think it'll be very hard to find in the wild, so you do get two chances, which is always great for cars like that, where scalpers and collectors will be all over it. Now, this Grass Chomper is a fantasy casting returning from the previous case, so nothing new here. It's also not something that many people will be interested in, but this is a little bit more interesting, the Hot Wheels 4-track. Now, yes, this is a fantasy car. Yes, it is returning from the previous case. However, I think this is a great looking fantasy. It looks very realistic to real life F1 cars, and overall, I really like the aesthetic of that release, of that casting. Next up, we do have the RR Roadster. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this thing. It is a fantasy casting, returning from the previous case, so nothing new here, and I won't be picking this thing up for my collection, because it is a fantasy car. I only collect real life cars, and also it just doesn't look very good in my opinion. Next up, we do have the Land Rover Series 2. This is returning from the previous case as well. It looks really good though, and honestly I don't really have any complaints about this release of this casting, but as I've said, it's from the previous case. We've already seen that thing, but I will be picking it up for my collection. This is brand new for this case though, the 70 Dodge Charger RT. Now, I think this casting was first introduced for Fast and Furious, and since then it's been used for all sorts of different things. So this thing does receive side and top tamper work. It's been painted in what appears to be like this matte gold colour, and it is rolling on mismatched 5-spoke wheels. They are different colours in the rear and in the front. Next up, we do have the Pontiac Aztek Custom. This is brand new for this case. It's also a brand new casting, and my goodness, I love this thing. I'll definitely be hunting this thing down. It's definitely going to be one of my favourite new castings for 2024. I think it's just so cool looking. It does have side and front tamper work. It's been painted in this beautiful metallic blue colour and is rolling on the 5-spoke Y design wheels, which have been painted in chrome. Next up, we do have the Alfa Romeo GTV6 3-litre. This is returning from the previous case, but it's a very solid recolor, and again, I will probably be picking that thing up for my collection. It's very nice looking indeed. Next up, we do have the Corvette Stingray. This is brand new for this case. It looks very nice. It's rolling on some nice 5-spoke wheels, which have been painted in chrome. It appears to be painted in a metallic red paint job and does have side and top tamper work. Again, a really nice recolor there. This is also a brand new recolor, which I think looks superb too. And honestly, I have no complaints. This is the custom 72 Chevy Love. This thing does have side and top tamper work. It's been painted in this lovely, what appears to be either matte or glossy green, and also is rolling on the 5-spoke wheels, which have been painted in chrome. It looks awesome. Can't wait to add that thing to my collection. I don't have that casting in my collection yet, so yeah, that will be very exciting when I find that thing in the wild. I'll definitely be hunting that thing down. Next up, we do have the Glory Chaser, which is a fantasy car, returning from the previous case, although I do think the Hot Wheels team have done a fantastic job on that release of that casting. Looks very good in my opinion. Next up, we do have the 87 Audi Quattro. This is a brand new casting, however, it is returning from the previous case. I will definitely be hunting that thing down for my collection. I think that is also one of 2024's most solid new castings to date. It just looks so good. Again, very good execution. Next up, we do have the Boom car. This is a fantasy car returning from the previous case and is definitely aimed at a younger demographic. Speaking of a younger demographic, this is also aimed at those same people, and this is pretty hideous looking in my opinion. This is the T-Rex Roya, I'm not sure. Brand new for the case. It's rolling on the 6-spoke Ryu Asada wheels, which have been painted in this brownish colour. The body of the thing has been done in red. It is a red plastic body, and I'm just not a big fan of that thing. Next up, we do have the Batman Forever Batmobile. This is the treasure hunt for this case. It doesn't look too bad, but it's just something that I won't be picking up for my collection. I just don't collect Batmobiles. This thing has been painted in this glossy black colour. It is rolling on the 6-spoke Ryu Asada wheels, which have been painted in this chrome blue colour. Overall, it's not a bad treasure hunt, but I won't be picking it up. I only buy treasure hunts that I actually want in my collection and that I like the look of, and that just really isn't something that I would buy. Still, it looks pretty cool. Next up, we do have the 92 Honda Civic EG. This is a very popular casting. It is returning from the previous case. It's going to be a really desirable one, and this does give you a second chance at finding this thing. Next up, we do have the Bricken Delivery. Now, this is brand new for this case. It is also a fantasy casting, and this thing does receive side tamper work. It is rolling on the 5-spoke wheels, which have been moulded in orange plastic, and the rest of the wheel has been painted in black. And pretty much the entirety of the body of this car has been created through orange plastic. And yeah, I won't be adding that to my collection. It's aimed at a younger demographic. Next up, we do have the Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe. This thing is in the Gulf livery. It does receive side and top tamper work, has been painted in glossy baby blue, and is rolling on the 5-spoke wheels, which are primarily black and do have a nice chrome orange lip to them. Next up, we do have the Mustang Funny Car. This is also brand new for this case. It is rolling on the 5-spoke wheels, which have been painted in black. The rest of the car has been painted in glossy whites, and it does receive top and side tamper work. Lots of tamper work on that thing, and honestly, I think that's a really good release of that casting. One of the best I've seen so far. Next up, we do have the Piranha Terror. This is returning from the previous case. It's also a fantasy car, and I will not be picking that thing up for my collection. Again, it is aimed at a younger demographic. And this is also aimed at a younger demographic as well, as you can probably tell. It is brand new for this case though, so I will talk about it. This is the Flippin' Fast. It does receive top and bottom tamper work and is rolling on the 5-spoke wheels, which have been done primarily in black, and they do have a nice chrome red lip to them. It also does have a special feature where it can drive upside down as well as upright, so yeah, it doesn't matter which way the car is, it will drive, it will roll. Really cool and special feature, which is actually definitely going to entice kids to buy that vehicle. Next up, we do have the Roger Dodger. This is returning from the previous case. It is a fantasy casting, but I think it's been executed here so good. It just looks fantastic. I've always been a fan of that casting, to be honest. I just think it looks really good, and it looks very realistic to real life cars, which definitely is more appealing to us adult collectors. This is also returning from the previous case. This is the 89 Mercedes-Benz 560 SEC AMG. It was the Super Treasure Hunt in the previous case as well. I really do like this casting, but I still think the black version is the best to come out so far. I'm just not a big fan of this glossy red version. I think the black is just going to be the best to ever come out, and yeah, that's just how I feel. This Ice Charger is returning from the previous case, so nothing new there. However, this modified 60s Fiat 500D is new for this case. It does receive side and top tamper work, has been painted in what appears to be metallic yellow, which looks fantastic on this thing, and this car is rolling on the 5-spoke muscle wheels, which have been done in black with a nice chrome red lip to them. Now then, that is actually the Super Treasure Hunt for this case, not that specific model there, because that was just the regular mainline, but there will be a version with Spectraflame paints, Spectraflame gold paints, and it will also have real riders on it. That is the Super Treasure Hunt. You want to keep your eyes open for that thing, because it will be very rare and valuable. Now then, the previous motorbike we've just seen is from the previous case. It was a brand new casting there, but yeah, it's just not something that I'm interested in. Here is the Hot Wheels 4-track once again. I really do like that thing for a fantasy casting. but it's nothing new. Same thing goes with this 10s or 2010s Camaro SS. It is quite nicely executed, especially for such a funky casting, but again, it is returning from the previous case, so nothing new there. Next up, we do have the 67 Chevy C10 pickup truck. Once again, this is returning from the previous case. It's decent looking, but it's really not to my taste. I think it's them wheels. I think they look pretty silly. It's just kind of the design that thing is going for, since it does feature in the Hot Wheels Art Cars miniseries, and hence all the cars in that miniseries do have a crazy graphic to them, and that's why they're in the Art Cars miniseries. Next up, we do have the 73 Jeep J10. This was a brand new casting for 2023, and this is the second release of this casting. I do like this release, but it is from the previous case, so nothing new there. However, this 2020 Ram 1500 Rebel is brand new for this case. It has been painted in glossy black. That colour just suits this casting fantastically. It does receive side and front tampo work and is rolling on the off-road beadlock wheels, which have been painted in grey. That's a really, really solid release of that casting. I'll definitely be looking for that thing. Just looks great in my opinion. One of the best releases of that casting to come out as well. Next up, we do have the DeLorean Alpha 5. This is returning from the previous case. It's not a new casting, but it is a brand new casting to the main line for 2024. Just looks really good. Next up, we do have the Monster High Ghoulmobile. This is brand new for this case. It has been painted in glossy black, does receive top and side tampo work, and is rolling on the 10-spoke wheels, which have been painted in this chrome pink colour. Honestly, I won't be picking that thing up because I just don't collect stuff like that. Next up, we do have the Lane Lowrider. Again, this thing does look pretty cool. It does receive side and top tampo work. Has been painted in what appears to be glossy black as well. It is rolling on the 5-spoke wheels, which have been done in black, with a nice chrome green lip to them. Again, I probably won't pick that thing up since it is a fantasy casting, but I think it still does look pretty cool. Next up, we have the Surf Duty. This is a fantasy car, but it is brand new for this case. It has been painted in what appears to be this slightly metallic blue colour. It does receive side tampo work and is rolling on the Fan 5-spoke wheels, which have been painted in grey. That's another car which I will not be collecting, but yeah, it still looks pretty acceptable, I suppose. It's just not to my taste. And the final new car for this reaction and for this case is the 15 Jaguar F-Type Project 7. It does receive side and top tampo work, looks fantastic. It's rolling on the lace wheels, which have been painted in chrome gold, and the rest of the car has been painted in glossy white. What a fantastic release of that casting. I don't have that casting in my collection yet, so I can't wait to add it because it looks really good, and it definitely will be a car which I will be personally pursuing. But there you go, that is it for the 2024 A-Case. Overall, it's a really solid brand new case, full of amazing goodies. We've got 3 brand new castings and we've got tons of great new recolours. And overall, I've got no complaints about this case. It's not quite as good as the previous 2024 D case, however, it's still really good and has tons of great new stuff. But anyways, that does lead me onto my rankings for first, second and third place. So in third place, we do have the Volvo XC40 Recharge. I'm really liking that brand new recolor. I think it looks fantastic, and overall I've got no complaints whatsoever. It's very detailed, and I think the white colour choice looks great on that car, as well as the tampo work. Overall, it's just a really nice release of that casting. Next up, in second place, we do have the Cadillac Project GTP Hypercar. I really do like that new casting. I can't wait to get that thing in my hands. It's got a very similar colour scheme to the debut version of the Hot Wheels Pagani Zonda R. And overall, I'm a big fan of this new casting. I can't wait to see where it pops up next. And I think this first release is really solid. And overall, I don't think the Hot Wheels team could have done much better for a mainline. And now it is time for first place. So in first place, you probably already guessed this, it is the Pontiac Aztek Custom. I just love that casting. I think it's really nice to have this car in the Hot Wheels lineup. It looks super cool with this crazy wide body kit. And honestly, I think if Pontiac had debuted this car in real life with this same kind of aesthetic, it would have done a ton better. But when it came out the factory, it was known as one of the world's ugliest cars, and honestly, I do agree. But the Hot Wheels team have turned that real life car around and have made it look pretty good indeed. But there you go, that is my ranking. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Let me know in the comments section down below. I love to hear your thoughts and opinions. But anyways, that does lead me onto my score out of 10 for this mix of cars. So what am I going to give this case out of 10? It is going to be receiving a totally deserved 8.5 out of 10. Overall, it's just really nice, fully packed with goodies. The only people who I do think might be a little bit disappointed with this mix of cars will be people who simply collect Hot Wheels for Japanese stuff, because there are no new Japanese releases, no new recolors, no new castings, just the same as what was in the previous case. So yeah, that is a little bit of a shame, but yeah, overall, I love this case. I collect such a big variety of different Hot Wheels castings that all of these castings, pretty much all of them at least, really are something that I want to add to my collection. I think they look pretty cool indeed. But there you go, that is it for this video. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like. If you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. Remember, you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss new uploads. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or any groups who may be interested. But remember, don't feel pressure to if you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested. You watching this video all the way to the end means so much to me, and I really do thank you for making it all the way up until this point. But that is it for this video, so I hope you guys did enjoy, and I really do hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye everyone.